In the early morning hours of July 16, 2024, at approximately 2:30 a.m., the Bexar County Sheriff's Office Patrol Deputy Stephen Andu was traveling east on Culebra Road in West Bexar County. While in his marked patrol unit, Deputy Andu observed the front passenger, Ivan Castile, recklessly displaying a firearm out of the window of the silver Toyota Camry.
3 out to 40. Start some units my direction. I'm going to be behind a car. The front seat passenger is waving a gun out the window. We're going to be Alamo Parkway, southbound. I have not lit it up just yet. I'm going to wait for some units to get closer. Silver four-door sedan, looks like a Nissan. I have the LP in the key card. Looks like they're going to be taking a right onto Rockwall Mill. Looks like a Toyota Camry. We'll be moving towards Roth Road. Turning right onto Palmetto Way. So we'll be going northbound Palmetto Way. Yeah, the front seat passenger looked like he was waving out, looked like a pistol on Culebra Road. And I was right behind them. They saw me, so be careful. All right, I'm activating my lights, Delta 40. Still rolling. He's got his blinker on, but we're still rolling. Palmetto Way still. Turning onto Painted Daisy. He's still rolling. Donley Cove. Turning on Donley Cove. Okay, the guy with the gun is running. He's dressed in all black shorts.
As you can see, the video ends just before impact. He was in the hospital throughout the duration of his incarceration, and he was released on his own recognizances about a week or two later. He was ultimately charged with evading, and then they tried to charge him with unlicensed carry, but the case was rejected by the city's attorney. They were careful to word it in a way that it made it sound like Castile ran in front of the squad car. Take a look.
I'm Deputy Johnny Garcia, Public Information Officer for the Bexar County Sheriff's Office. The video you're about to see is dash cam footage regarding a use of force incident involving Ivan Castillo, 20 years old, and Deputy Stephen Antu, a 7-year veteran with the Bexar County Sheriff's Office. In the early morning hours of July 16, 2024, at approximately 2:30 a.m., Bexar County Sheriff's Office Patrol Deputy Stephen Antu was traveling east on Culebra Road in West Bexar County. While in his marked patrol unit, Deputy Antu observed the front passenger, Ivan Castillo, recklessly displaying a firearm out of the window of a silver Toyota Camry. After seeing the firearm being displayed, Deputy Antu turned around and pulled in behind the silver Camry, which had come to a stop at the intersection of Culebra Road and Alamo Parkway. While at the stoplight, Deputy Antu saw Castillo waving a firearm out of the window now for a second time, while a vehicle was in the lane next to them. The silver Toyota Camry turned onto Alamo Parkway from Culebra Road, now traveling towards a residential area. Prior to entering the neighborhood, Deputy Antu radioed for additional support while continuing to follow the vehicle. Deputy Antu initiated a traffic stop on Palmetto Way, however the driver failed to stop, leading to a pursuit. The Toyota Camry finally came to a stop in the 6500 block of Downley Cove. Immediately after the vehicle came to a stop, Castillo exited the vehicle, dropping the firearm on the ground. Castillo quickly picked up the firearm and began fleeing on foot. Deputy Antu was still in his patrol unit and pursued after Castillo. As Castillo was evading from Deputy Antu, Castillo crossed in front of Deputy Antu's vehicle and was struck by the patrol unit. Ivan Castillo was detained and provided medical attention by first responders. The firearm, which Castillo was seen running with, was recovered and found to be loaded with an extended magazine along with a round in the firing chamber. Castillo was ultimately charged with evading arrest.
I like how they conveniently left out the part where they attempted to charge him with carrying without a license and that the city rejected that charge. It would probably open up a lot more questions. Now, the way that they do these press releases and the wording that they use is no accident. When Javier Salazar took over as sheriff, they were trained by a man named Charles Chuck Joyner. Now, Charles Chuck Joyner is former CIA, former FBI, and he owns a company called Survival Sciences. And according to his own website, Survival Sciences was created to serve the law enforcement community by providing scientific, research, and practical solutions for use of force issues. Survival Sciences offers internationally recognized expertise in training and consulting. So he trains people and encourages them to write their reports with the mindset of, I'm going to be sued.
One of the things I did, I came up with a modern use of force model, the Dynamic Resistance Response Model, or DRM. And what that does, it just reflects Graham versus Connor. And Graham versus Connor is based on the reasonable officer and the officer's perception. It's all based on the officer's perception of the threat. So as an officer, you decide if there's a threat or not a threat. And as long as you can articulate that later and you can do it accurately, then you're good.
That's one of the real keys. An officer has to understand this is where we talk about report writing to win, and people just blow it off and say, oh yeah, you know, and that's so, and like what you just said, how important is that report then?
Well, yes, sir. That's critical. And particularly if somebody gets injured, you should have the mindset, I'm going to get sued. And so write the report with that mindset, I'm going to get sued. And look at Graham versus Connor and look at your own emotions and what you observed and what happened and really articulate the threat. And make sure you do a thorough job articulating that threat. And it could be a stiffness, it could be taking a balanced stance, it could be tightening the fist, it could be all these different things that the officer sees, and he needs to record those. And I'd also say the responsibility goes on the sergeant or lieutenant who's reviewing that report. They should read it, and if they know that's not adequate, kick it back and make them do it again. It's for the officer's protection.
Now, make no mistake about it, I do think that this kid was acting very recklessly, and there should be consequences for the way he was acting. However, when you're dealing with cops like this, when cops misbehave and they do things like this, then it takes away from what this kid did and puts the focus on this officer. What do you guys think about this? Question of the day. If you were in this officer's position, how would you apprehend this suspect? Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll give you your answers in the next video.